everybody, welcome to Scuba Diving Magazine and welcome to Top 10. You wonderful divers out there voted for this, probably because it's starting to get a little bit cold out there in the northern hemisphere. So where I'm from, dry suits are pretty much just a staple year round, and they're a fantastic tool for a scuba diver for both insulation to keep you warm, but also buoyancy control and a few other things. And while the name dry suit can be a little bit optimistic at times, I spend most of my time underwater inside one, so let's dive straight into my top 10 scuba diving dry suits for 2022. If you're on a budget but you still want to stay dry, or mostly dry, then I really like the SEAC Warm Dry suit. Now, I could have just searched for scuba dry suit and just chosen the very cheapest option out there, but I'm after the best budget dry suit, and for what you pay, the Warm Dry does give you a lot of dry suit. It's neoprene, so it's tough and it's insulating as well, and a great feature that you don't always see on cheaper dry suits is that it comes with a thigh pocket. Now, it's not an amazing thigh pocket, but it's still somewhere to store some gear on you. Both men's and women's cuts as well, with forgiving neoprene, and the neoprene boots themselves at the ankle are flexible around the ankle for great freedom of movement for whatever fin kick style suits you. You don't get a lot of fancy accessories with the dry suit neither that you often get with some other dry suits. You get the bag, you get the suit, you get the hose, and probably a hood, I imagine, but if all you want is a dry suit for diving in colder waters, then the Warm Dry will definitely do the job. The waterproof D1X. The way that most scuba diving dry suits work is that you have the dry suit as a waterproof shell on the outside, and then you wear an undersuit underneath that, and that is what's actually providing the insulation. Waterproof turned to one another and said, why don't we just make a dry suit with a built-in undersuit? I mean, I imagine they probably said it in Swedish, and I wasn't there, but I imagine that's how it went down. So they made the D1X. That just alone is a beautiful dry suit. It's real tough material, and it has some really nice thigh pockets. If you couldn't tell by now, I'm really keen on thigh pockets on dry suits, but add inside of that an internal mesh undersuit layer that is crush resistant, meaning that your body weight when you're in the water doesn't squeeze the insulating air out of key areas, and you have just a perfect insulating dry suit all over you. And the suit, as I said earlier, is made from really tough material, so you don't have to worry about ruining your new investment because you just brushed against something. Now, it is a buoyant suit because it has that internal insulating layer, but it is more buoyant than a neoprene dry suit probably, and whilst it does weigh a fair bit as well, if you really want a really fancy dry suit, you probably want the D1X. Santee had to find its way onto this list somewhere, and their top dry suit is the E-Lite Plus, or Elite Plus. I'm not entirely sure how they pronounce it, but E-Lite is made to be tough, and the E-Lite Plus is made to be tough where it needs to be and flexible everywhere else. Made with two different exclusive materials to Santee, the E-Lite Plus is the best of both worlds, and it resists abrasions in the classic areas for wear and tear, and that will give you a long lifespan, and it can keep up with really demanding long dives. You also get a choice of the color of certain panels to customize your dry suit a little bit and personalize it a bit more than just off-the-rack dry suits that just come in black. It may take a little bit longer if you're making it a bit more, not even made to measure, but a bit more personalized, but at least you know that the dry suit has been specifically made for you and it hasn't just been hanging up on a shelf for a few months, and you get that nice new dry suit smell, which is actually quite powerful adhesives. Don't breathe it in too deeply when you get a brand new dry suit. For a back entry dry suit, I like the Exo Dry from Scuba Pro. Exo Dry is very similar to the Ever Dry, which was always a very popular dry suit, but the Exo Dry has latex seals, which most divers tend to get on with a bit better, and it's also made with Scuba Pro's X-Foam 4mm compressed neoprene, which is limestone based neoprene, so it's soft, it's flexible, and it's better for you and the environment. Single thigh pocket, soft tech boots at the bottom, and Scuba Pro's computer wrist straps that you basically tuck the computer's wrist strap underneath it so that your dive computer stays in place on your wrist and won't slip off your wrist or around your arm. Scuba Pro has always been making really good neoprene throughout the years with a nice premium feel to it as well. If you want a good neoprene dry suit that feels a bit more like a wetsuit, then look at the Exo Dry. If you have a particular look in mind for your dry suit that you can't find just off the rack, then DIY should probably be on your list. DIY has long been known for allowing you to choose what color your dry suit is, and you can build some pretty funky dry suits with patterned materials if you want to stand out on the dive boat, underwater, or just literally anywhere. The dry suit itself is part of DIY's premium range and is used by professional divers in all sorts of underwater professions because it has a great mix of durability and flexibility so that you can actually swim whilst wearing the suit, and it can still take a lot of abuse. But for the best choice of colors and patterns in a dry suit, it is quite hard to beat DIY for their choices. One thing that a lot of scuba divers find with exposure suits is that they can be a bit restrictive, and the Fusion Bullet from Aqualung is a clever design that was previously from White's lineup and similar to the D1X in that you effectively have two suits in one, except the internal suit is your dry layer and it's perfectly made a little bit big for you for the size that you should be wearing so that you have a bit more room to bend and stretch, but that would be a nightmare for a dive as the baggy suit would just trap air pockets in weird places and just catch on things in the water, and that's where the external suit comes in. The external suit is more form-fitted to your body and it holds the excess material in to keep you nice and streamlined but still allowing you to bend and flex. It's a bit of a faff to actually don to get it on because you have all that excess material, but once you are in, it feels like no other dry suit that you've worn before. It also has a brass U zipper on the chest, which can be a little bit tricky to do all by yourself. I would have preferred a plastic zipper, but once you're in, you're incredibly comfortable and you really do not feel any restriction at all. Commercial diving is very different to recreational diving, and as a commercial diver, your needs skew more towards protection than flexibility. Now, if you're diving in nasty, toxic water, then you'll want something more like a Viking suit, specifically made for that, but for non-toxic waters, where you still want a warm suit to protect you from long stationary dives, the 03 Port 10 was specifically made with commercial divers in mind. It's made to be worn for long periods of time with reliability built in, especially in the seams, so that you never miss out on a dive. And 03 have just a fantastic reputation for looking after their divers afterwards. They do look after your suit, especially if they do find sort of faults to it, and the suit itself is not bonkers expensive neither. Normally with a lot of really tough equipment, you can easily add just a zero to the price tag, but not with 03, they're really great value for money. One of the things that a lot of divers find when they spend a lot of time inside of their dry suit, especially on the surface, is that their sweat has nowhere to go when they're inside of the suit. So things can get quite fragrant. Now, today we have very clever breathable materials when you're on the surface, and you can find them on the Fourth Element Argonaut. And the clever thing about the Argonaut is that you can either have the entire suit made from this breathable material, or you can have it half and half. So that way your top half is breathable and it keeps you in a more pleasant environment inside of your suit, and the lower half of the suit is made from their flex material. So you get the best of both worlds, and with Fourth Element's Dry Suit Builder on their website, you can spend time at home picking and choosing the different parts and each an individual component, and then build it together so you can build the perfect dry suit for you, and then you basically just send the specs to your dive center and they take it from there. It's a very modern way of buying a dry suit. For the traveling diver who needs a dry suit, you can now buy traveling dry suits. The Otter Ultralight, as you can probably imagine by the name itself, is made to be as lightweight as possible compared to more traditional dry suits. Instead of heavy and bulky, tough membrane materials, they use a thinner and flexible ripskin material. And it's tailored on the Britannic 2 dry suit design, which is one of their most popular all-rounder dry suits. The Ultralight still has everything that you'd expect to see on a dry suit, from a telescopic front entry so you can get in and out of it all by yourself, reflective strips on it to help you be seen in the water, as well as thigh pockets to store your essentials. And Otter have a fantastic reputation for build quality, and you'll see a lot of advanced divers wearing their brand as well. With most dry suits being dark drab colours, other than that DUI dry suit obviously, being seen in the water can be quite tricky, but one suit that you will never be missed in is the Ursuit Softura, the orange in particular. Dayglow orange, basically head to toe, will help your buddy find you in the water, and of course, more importantly, boats to see you on the surface. And the suit itself is top-notch as far as features and build quality. Telescopic torso, like most front entry dry suits, makes it very easy to don and doff, as well as stretch and bend when you need to, and it has a pair of great pockets on the thighs where you can store and organize your equipment. If you want to take a look at some dry suits, then there's going to be a link in the description, as well as up here in the corner. That would have popped up a few times throughout the course of the video. And then remember to subscribe to the channel for more scuba diving content. I'm also starting up a podcast again for those who are interested. For ease, it will probably start with a few Q&As that I've done already. But if there's anything that you'd like from the podcast, by all means, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.